It's the end of day 52. I'm driving across a giant bridge, which is a 3 mile long bridge across a river that flows south to north. It's kind of a different thing. I think there's 3 rivers in the United States that do this. And today I photographed a family, and we were talking at the end, and the father was saying that he was in a car wreck a few months ago. He looked fine, but he wasn't moving from his chair that much. He said that he got off work at 3:30 in the morning, and he was driving home on the interstate, and the next thing he knew, he was waking up on the side of the road, laying on the road, and his car was about 20 feet from him, upside down. So he said, I don't remember anything, but somehow he was thrown from the car and got in a wreck. He broke 14 bones. Super, super lucky to be alive. I mean, you just never know what's going to happen when. Crazy. Anyways, I stopped for some gas, and I reached in my wallet to go in and get a lottery ticket and a cup of ice. And I know this morning, I'm pretty sure I put 2 5s in my wallet, $5 bills, so $10. I pulled out the money to give to the clerk for the lottery ticket and the cup of ice, and here I had a 20 and a 5. I have no idea where that 20 came from. And he looked at me and he says, well, I have another surprise for you. And I said, what? And he goes, somebody just left $3 behind, so I'm going to buy your lotto ticket and ice. So he paid for the lotto ticket and cup of ice. I told him if I win, I'm going to bring him some money, and I will. It's just weird today. Things feel weird tonight. I don't know. So also, when I got gas tonight, I pulled over. I hadn't noticed that gas prices were really down, and I kept waiting to get it, thinking I'll get it when it's really down, and I didn't stop, and now it's back up. So I thought, well, I'll just get a little bit because I didn't have enough. It was going to run out before I got home. So I pulled over at that gas station to get gas, and I wasn't even paying attention to how much I was getting. I just kind of clicked it off at a certain point. Somehow, this gas amount that I got, without even trying, clicked off at exactly my lucky number. Like, exactly. It's so strange. I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of lucky stuff today for some reason. I've been trying to reset my mind for abundance. And I was listening to this guy. I can't even remember who it was, but I just remember what he said. It was a few weeks, maybe even a few months ago. He was talking about how abundance is everywhere. Now, I know this in terms of like trees and, everything starts out small and grows into the fullest, most best expansive version of itself if you look at nature, so long as something doesn't get in the way of it. Plants and animals and all that, they don't have the limitations that we do. And so, they're going to thrive, and especially the natural world, plants and so forth, so long as they're in a good environment and don't have any disease or whatever, will thrive. But this guy that I was listening to, and that's all of our purpose in life, is to grow into the fullest, most expansive version of ourselves, grow into the best, most amazing version of ourselves that we want to become. I believe we can do that. It just is a matter of will we. We have to put away the limitations and all the little voices that say we can't do something. Anyways, the guy was talking about how there's abundance everywhere as far as money. If you look where you're driving, for example, we pass a house, very, very cheap house, nowadays is around $200,000. Most houses, are 2 to 500, depending on the area of the country. And you pass 20 of them in a neighborhood and there's millions of dollars right there. And then you think about all the cars that you're passing on the road. There's thousands of dollars worth of cars, the businesses, and all the products that they put out and money that they bring in and services that they render for people. Then, if we pass things like hospitals or malls, there's millions, if not billions, of dollars put into these places. And we just don't think about the abundance that is all around us all the time and is constantly moving through everything. Unless we're in a ghost town, money is constantly moving through our lives and through moving in and out of our lives and the lives of people around us all the time. And so I definitely feel like I've had a block, and I don't know why, but it puts things into a new perspective that it's all around us all the time. And there's no reason that you or I should not be a part of that all the time. And for the most part, my needs have always been met. And we have had definitely times where the power's been cut off, or the water's been cut off, or couldn't afford the food we wanted, or whatever. But for the most part, in almost 50 years of life, even, if you had to team up with somebody else like family or friends, we've always been able to afford what we need in life. And that is the state that we need to remain in. We're not meant to, feel that there's lack everywhere. Do believe there's good in the story, like the story of the Garden of Eden, where all the fruits were in the Garden of Eden to eat. There was nothing that we lacked for, and the earth just provided. And I believe that, so long as we don't get in the way or others don't get in the way, things should always be abundant and there for us. So, anyways, that's my thoughts today. I'm trying to keep my mindset in the right direction. And honestly, if you think about currency and money today, it's just made up. I mean, it's not backed by gold or anything anymore. It's just numbers on a screen, and they can change in your favor any day. So I'm trying to keep that in mind. They can change in my favor and yours anytime we want. We just have to say that we want them, and that's the future that we are going to have. And I honestly believe science tells us that we can choose. I mean, if you look at waves of potentials, everything until you perceive it is a potential. It's not one way or the other. And so science is telling us if we perceive and we choose one thing over another, that's what will happen unless we somehow decide to choose the opposite. I think I've talked before about a wonderful book and concept called biocentrism. It's fascinating. It's about how it's kind of on quantum physics, and it's a fascinating book about how we kind of create our reality.